الله في بعض الأيام. فقال السلام عليك يا فاطمة. فقلت عليك السلام. قال إني أجد في بدني ضعفا. فقلت له أعيذك بالله يا أبتاه من الضعف. فقال يا فاطمة ائتيني بالكساء اليماني فغطيني به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيته به، وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلألأ كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسن قد أقبل. وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال أسألك يا جده يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوضي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلا معه تحت الكساء. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولدي الحسين قد أقبل. وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم، إن جدك وأخاك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جده. السلام عليك يا من اختاره الله. أتأذن لي أن أكون معكما تحت الكساء؟ فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل معهما تحت الكساء. فأقبل عند ذلك أبو الحسن علي بن أبي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا أبا الحسن ويا أمير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عمي رسول الله. فقلت نعم، ها هو مع ولديك تحت الكساء. فأقبل علي نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وصي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي، قد أذنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء، ثم أتيت نحو الكساء وقلت: السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله، أتأذن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء؟ قال: وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بضعتي، قد أذنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء، فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ أبي رسول الله بطرفي الكساء وأومأ بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال: اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وخاصتي وحامتي، لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي، يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم، حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم، إنهم مني وأنا منهم، فاجعل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم، وأذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال الله عز وجل: يا ملائكتي ويا سكان سماواتي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل: يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل: هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبعلها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال جبرائيل: يا ربي أتأذن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال الله: نعم، قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال: السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرئك السلام ويخصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك: وعزتي وجلالي، إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحرا يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي يا رسول الله؟ فقال رسول الله: وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله، إنه نعم، قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء، فقال لأبي: إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول: إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال علي لأبي: يا رسول الله، أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله. فقال النبي: والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلى أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي: إذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. فقال النبي ثانيا: يا علي، والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا، ما ذكر خبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض، وفيه جمع من شيعتنا ومحبينا، وفيهم مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه، ولا مغموم إلا وكشف الله غمه، ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي: إذا والله فزنا وسعدنا، وكذلك شيعتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وفوضوا أمري إلى الله إن الله بصير بالعباد ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل ونعم المولى ونعم النصير. والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على الرسول المسدد المصطفى الأمجد المحمود الأحمد الذي سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد. الله صل على محمد وآل محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتاب الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله بالغ أمره صدق الله العلي العظيم. زينوا مجالسكم بالصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. My respected elders, brothers and sisters in Iman, Salaam Alaikum Jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Greetings to all of our friends who may be joining us from Allentown, from the United States and across the globe. May the blessings and salutations of this auspicious occasion be upon you all, inshallah. The question that I lay out at the forefront of our discussion and our conversation tonight is: how does one not feel lonely in life? Keep that question in the back of your mind, inshallah, we'll return to it. When we look at the life of the blessed holy Imam, Zainul Abideen, Imam Sajjad, salawatullahu salamu alayhi, our fourth blessed holy Imam, his life, indeed in his youth, indeed at the event of Karbala, and after Karbala, at every moment serves a purpose, and it serves as a message and a mission of guidance for you and I in our day-to-day lives. And in particular, in these times that we're facing today, the blessings of this blessed Imam and the happiness that his birth brings to the world and the joy that it brings into the house of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is a cause of a fraction of blessings in our own lives. That it is through the blessings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that we are having moments of joy and happiness in our lives, and we should treasure these moments. How appropriate it is to have the life of an Imam such as Imam Sajjad commemorated in these times and in all times. I say this for a particular reason. We are going through an interesting slice in time. And one theory that will emerge from this, that we'll look at it tonight, is this idea that is life meant to be easy? Is life meant to have challenges? And whether the answer is either way you go, the question that one needs to reflect at is it better to have a perspective that life will have challenges, or to assume that life will not have challenges? And how does this expectation relate to our well-being and happiness and contentment in overall life? It's not such a straightforward answer. We'll explore it tonight, inshallah. This Imam, who despite going through challenges, the events of Karbala being in front of our eyes, and in particular metaphorically in front of ours and literally in front of his, this Imam, how is it that after Karbala he still had a level of tranquility, a level of peace, a level of understanding and ma'rifah that he went on and he carried on? Not only did he carry on, he helped the message and the mission of Islam flourish during his period. Flourish during his period. In a period where there was tremendous animosity towards him. There was tremendous trepidation and fear to propagate the message of Islam. Yet this Imam, he got the message across. Tonight I want to look at a few stages of the life of the Imam. Number one, I would like to look at the birth and the auspicious occasion of the birth of the Imam alayhimus salam itself. What were those events, and what made this birth especially unique in the history of the world, and what were those elements of it? I want to look at the Imam as he progressed in life, and what were those different elements and dimensions of his traits. What were, for example, some of the titles of the Imam alayhimus salam? What titles did he possess, and why are those titles in particular significant? I want to look at what was the Imam alayhimus salam's daily schedule after Karbala. Have we discussed this before? Have we heard this? And what did it look like? What was his day, and how does that compare to our day-to-day lives? And are we on track and trajectory or not? I want to look at what were some of the companions. Who were those companions of the Imam alayhimus salam, and why were they important? Why were they significant? We know some of the companions of Rasulullah. We know some of the companions of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. But do we know some of the companions of Imam Sajjad? Why are they important? Why are they significant? Why should we consider and remember them? I then want to look at the relationship of Imam Sajjad alayhimus salam and the Quran al-Majid wal Furqan al-Hamid, and how we can implement his teachings in our lives so that we can have a better, more peaceful, more tranquil life. And finally, I want to look at the elements of the fadail and the merits of Imam Sajjad on this particular occasion, where we commemorate and we remember and we are joyous on his auspicious birth. For my audience, wherever you may be across the globe, from the bottom of your heart, I request that you give a salawat on Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Allah salli ala Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. When we come to the birth of the Imam alayhimus salam, the fourth Imam's birth is a moment in time that is historic for a number of reasons, but one in particular I would like to shed light on. When the Imam alayhimus salam was born, he was born into the house of Imam al-Husayn alayhis salam, his beloved father and his blessed father. But at that point in time, his grandfather, the grandfather of Imam Sajjad, the father of Imam al-Husayn, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullah wa salamu alayh, is alive and he is on this planet. Imam Sajjad, when he is born, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen takes him into his hands and he recites the azan and the aqama in the ears, and he begins to show his affection towards his grandchild. For those who may have grandchildren, for example, or those who understand this in psychology and other perspectives, there is a certain closeness, there is a certain affinity between grandparents and grandchildren. And imagine for a moment the feeling that Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen has when he holds this other Ali. When the elder Ali holds the younger Ali in his hands, how joyous of an occasion it must have been for Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. For roughly 2 to 3 years, Imam Sajjad lived during the time of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen before the assassination of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen by Abdurrahman ibn Muljam. This is that moment in history that the historians have recorded and history has recorded as the only moment in time when Imam Sajjad was born where simultaneously at one time on earth there were 4 Imams living. Yes, the Imamat was in the position and the hands and the mantle of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen at that time. However, Imam Hassan alayhi salam was present. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was present. And now Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, all of whom were to become Imams, were present at that time. 4 Imams. The blessings that have been on earth at that point in time may be second to none. I say this for a particular reason. Why? In our belief and in our aqaid, when you study Tawheed, Adala, Nabuwa, Imama, Qiyamah, one of the elements of Imama, as you know, Imama is not simply just limited to, for example, the 12 Imams, although that is the height. Ibrahim alayhi salam is also an Imam. Rasulullah is an Imam in terms of the leadership position. But when we talk about Imama, it is because of the phase, that is the merit, that is the blessings of the Imam, in particular our 12 Imams, that the universe continues to exist. There is a long discussion amongst the scholars that if an Imam is not present, the world may cease to exist. And there are philosophical reasons for this, going back to the creation of the universe. That Allah in Hadith Qudsi has also shed light on this idea that I would not have created. Inni ma khalaqtu samaa mabniya wala ardan madhiya wala, as you know from Hadith al-Qudsi, which we just recited so eloquently and beautifully. That Allah would not have created the universe had it not been for these individuals. Therefore, the Imam alayhi salam's presence on earth is a tremendous gift, not only to you and I, but to humanity, because it is by the Imam's blessing that society and the world progresses forward. Therefore, also, one of the greatest, in fact, the greatest zulm, the greatest oppression that the oppressors who oppressed Ahlul Bayt, in particular Yazid, did was to remove the blessings of the Imam from the planet by physically martyring the Imam. That's why we must understand our usul and our principles. Nonetheless, this moment that we are commemorating tonight, the birth of the Imam, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, is a moment in history which is one of the most joyous for the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. And by that virtue, we celebrate and we commemorate this day of Imam Sajjad. And I wish there are these blessings in our lives that we attract. Therefore, what are those lessons that we can derive from the life of the Imams? Number one, I want to look at some of the titles of the Imam that may not have come to light that I would like to share with you. For example, many titles are known. For example, Sayyidus Sajideen, that is the master of all of those who prostrate, those who worship. That is Imam. There are other titles, Sajjad, as you are aware. Other titles, Zainul Abideen. Of course, you know the Imam's name is Ali ibn al-Hussein. His name is Ali, but these are all titles, Sajjad, Zainul Abideen, Sayyidus Sajideen. Where do these come from? For example, we're told on the day of Yawmul Qiyamah, on the day of judgment, there will be a cry on the day of judgment, where there will be a cry to call out, where Allah will send out the cry through His messengers or through His angels, Aina Zainul Abideen. Where is Zainul Abideen? Where is the ornament of the worshippers? Where is he? And then Imam Sajjad will emerge in that gathering in front of all of the people of paradise, or the people of the court before the decision for heaven and hell. The Imam alayhi salam will present himself. But there are some other titles that may not have reached us. What are some of those titles? One of the unique titles of the Imam alayhi salam is the title Adam Ali Muhammad. That is the Adam of Ali Muhammad. That is Father Abraham in the Abrahamic faith, Father Adam of the Abrahamic faiths in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Adam, the first man. This Adam Ali Muhammad, what is the philosophy behind this title? What is the philosophy? That is the Adam of the family of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. How? The idea was after the tragedy of Karbala, after the martyrdom and the massacre of Karbala, after the likes of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, Imam al-Hussein, Abu Fadl al-Abbas, we commemorated in the previous nights, after Ali al-Akbar and the beloved family, the 18 moons of Banu Hashim was slaughtered. After that, the Imam alayhi salam, that is Imam Zainul Abideen, was entrusted with the responsibility not only of Imamah, which we'll come to in a moment, but also of reviving the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. It was as if the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, after having lost so many members, it was as if they were starting anew, the same way Adam alayhi salam started civilization. It was as if Imam Sajjad alayhi salam was starting civilization once again. Number one, this is the first title, which is a unique one that we don't often hear. Adam e Ali Muhammad. Another one which is worth mentioning is Nuh Safina Ale Aba. It's a long title, but it has a very deep meaning. Nuh Safina Ale Aba, referring to Prophet Noah, Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, and the Ark of Noah, as you will remember. Safina meaning the ship or the ark. And then, so Nuh, Safina, Ale Aba. Ale Aba is a title for the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, referring to Quranic verses. The idea being here, if you know the traditions, and I would like to share them with you, of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the Ahlul Bayt have said very clearly and very categorically that they are those individuals who are the arks of salvation. The arks, the Safinat and Nijat, they are the arks of salvation. And they say that the fastest of the arks is Aba Abdullah, Sayyid al-Shuhada. Imam al-Hussein has the fastest ark of salvation. But Imam Sajjad alayhi salam is the Nuh of the ark of the salvation of the family of the Ahlul Bayt. Nuh Safina Ali Aba. Why? What's the idea of this? The Imam alayhi salam, not only was he Adam, restarting and reviving civilization once again, but he was also that individual who brought the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt. It is as if he brought the cultivation back to the land. As you remember, Nuh alayhi salam, he had two pairs of animals and he cultivated the earth again after the great flood. The Imam alayhi salam cultivated the land. He cultivated the world again with his teachings. Which teachings? The teachings that he shared of Islam through the du'as of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam in Sahifa Kamila, in Sahifa Sajjadiyah, as well as Risalat al-Huquq, the rights of the people. All of those teachings, because what is the life without the teachings, without the cultivation of the religious beliefs, the ethics, the principles? Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam would say, those individuals are not necessarily only orphans, those people who do not have fathers and mothers. Those are not the only definition of orphans, because, as you know, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam put tremendous emphasis on orphans. There is no doubt about it. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, the first Imam, would spend his nights looking after the poor and the orphans, and he would give them food. Imam Zainul Abideen, Imam Sajjad would do the same thing. He would spend his nights with a mask, he would cover his face, I should say, and he would put food on his back and he would distribute it amongst the people of the city, the same way Amir al-Mu'mineen used to do. They only found out after his passing about this act. But I say this is one definition of orphan. There's another. The other definition of orphan is one without knowledge, one without ilm. That is another definition of knowledge. Therefore, the Imam's title, Nuh, he is cultivating the earth again the same way Nuh alayhi salam did, through his teaching, through his du'as. I want to shed light on this because there used to be a different time. I say this because we may have drifted away from where our compass, where we originally were heading. We may have drifted away. Perhaps. I don't know. I just want to give you a moment to think. What is that? In the past, we are told in certain places, in the Middle East and in India and before the partition in these times, the top scholars, many of the biggest scholars and ulama, when they would go to recite majalis, they would actually go to rural villages. This is particularly true in India. I understood this when I had gone. There are many rural villages in Gujarat, in UP, in the south, anywhere throughout. There are the big cities, and outside the cities, there are dozens and thousands and scores of small villages. And many times, these people would not have, these were families of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Many times, these were people who were Shias, followers of Ahlul Bayt, sometimes even from the family. Because if you know the history of Tashayyu, many people scattered everywhere in order to survive, to protect themselves. Nonetheless, many times the scholars, the biggest scholars of these regions, would go in Muharram time to the remote villages in order to recite majalis. Why? What was the philosophy? They would say, these are Aitami Ali Muhammad. These are the orphans of Ali Muhammad. Why? Is it that they don't have parents? No, they have parents. But the idea was they do not have the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt because scholars are not visiting them. Therefore, we must make sure that we go there and we attend to them. This is why the concept of cultivation, of cultivating and giving life to a society, not only through the physical cultivation, but also through spiritual cultivation. This is what the Imam alayhi salam did. The next level of analysis that I would like to share with you is what the schedule of the Imam alayhi salam was post Karbala when he came back to Medina. Why is this important and why is this significant? We know much about the Imam in the tragedy of Karbala, the difficulties we went through after Karbala, in going from Karbala to Kufa to Sham. But what about when he went afterwards in Medina? Was he just crying the whole time? Yes, there's truth that the Imam was raising awareness through his mourning, but also he did not stop from his work and he did not stop from actually giving knowledge to the people. What did he do? The schedule of the Imam alayhi salam, from what we are told and what has reached us, is that he would begin his day from Fajr. When Imam Sajjad alayhi salam in Medina would begin his day from Fajr, after Salatul Fajr, he would then spend time and meet with all the muhaddithin, that is the experts of ahadith. The moment of time of actually aggregating and gathering all of the traditions of the Holy Prophet, they began to compile. Keep in mind, this is roughly 61 AH is when Karbala happens. As you know, Hijrah, the Hijri year, 13 years Mecca, then the Hijri calendar begins, and then 10 years in Medina, Rasulullah is alive when he passes away, when he's martyred afterwards, then 61 AH is Karbala. It is not even 100 years of Islam when Imam Sajjad is meeting with these historians. They are beginning to start to compile some of the traditions of the Prophet. There are, according to the Muslim world, there are certain categories of people who compile traditions. Number one, for example, there are Sahaba or Ashab, the people who are the companions. These are, according to the Muslim world, the definition is these are people who saw the Prophet. So if they could have met the Prophet, they could have seen the Prophet. Whether they were good people, bad people, that doesn't matter to many of the Muslim historians, as long as you saw the Prophet. Therefore, theoretically speaking, someone who was a ill-mannered person, someone who's a bad person in terms of character, could have seen the Prophet and still been a companion. Whereas we come from the perspective that when we look at Yusuf alayhi salam, who was in the prison, he says, my companions, ashab, my companions in the prison. A person in the prison, there may be innocent people, there may be guilty people. That doesn't necessarily mean that that person is a good person. Therefore, not everything can be relied upon. We must look at some details. Nonetheless, a slight tangent. But this is the first element, that there's the Sahaba, then there's something called the Tabi'een. Tabi'een are those individuals, are those people who did not see the Prophet directly, but they saw someone who saw the Prophet. Therefore, they saw, a Tabi'i is a person who saw a Sahabi. So this is the second layer. The third generation, these were generations. Generation 1, Sahaba, second Tabi'i, and the third, Tabi'i. Tabi'i is a person who didn't see the Prophet, who didn't see the Sahaba, but he saw a Tabi'i. According to the historians, Imam Sajjad, according to the historians of the Muslim world, he was a Tabi'i. He's someone who saw a Sahaba. He was not someone who saw the Prophet. Nonetheless, of course, for us, he is part of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. I say this because Imam Sajjad had a very vital role in helping to get authentic traditions from the Prophet to us and to the Muslim world, because he would tell the historians and the muhaddithin, the people who are the experts in hadith, when he would meet them after Salatul Fajr, he would tell them, these are the correct traditions, these are the incorrect traditions, this is what was really meant, this is what was not meant, and he would explain and give a lecture and give a dars, explaining to people, what are those ahadith, what did those mean, what was the truth of it, and the Imam would continue this all the way from Fajr, all the way until Salatul Zuhr. From Salatul Zuhr, the Imam alayhi salam would pray his Salatul Zuhr, and he would pray his Salah, whether it was Fajr or Zuhr or Maghrib or Isha, whatever Salah it was, the Imam alayhi salam would pray it the way Amir al-Mu'mineen would pray. By the way, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, when they asked him about his worship, and he used to worship so much, he asked him, they said, Sayyidul Sajideen, Imam Zainul Abideen, you worship so much. He would always say, where is my worship and where is the worship of Ali ibn Abi Talib? Where is the worship of Ali ibn Abi Talib and where is my worship? He says, meaning Amir al-Mu'mineen worshipped even more intensely than Imam Sajjad, according to Imam Sajjad. Nonetheless, till Dhuhr. After Salatul Zuhr, Imam would dedicate his time to the recitation of the Quran al-Majid wal Furqan al-Hamid. And he would also recite the munajat, that is, the whispered prayers between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember this relationship of the Quran and Imam Sajjad, it will come back again inshallah. As time progressed, this is till Zuhr, and until when Salatul Asr, the time of Asr, I should say the time of Asr would emerge, the Imam alayhi salam would begin his dars, that is his lesson in the tafsir of the Quran. He was a lecturer in our modern terms, as we would call it. He would give his class, his course, his lecture in the tafsir of the Quran. And all those people who are mufassirin, who do the tafsir of the Quran, they would gather and they would listen to the dars of the Imam alayhi salam as he would explain and he would help people understand what does the Quran al-Majid really mean? What does this ayah mean? Because some ayat are muhkam and other ayats are mutashabih. There are ayats that are clear and there are ayat that are allegorical in nature. They are not, for example, as clear. And you need someone who understands, and for us the understanding ones are the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Then Imam would continue this lecture all the way until Maghrib time. When Maghrib time would emerge, Imam would recite his Maghrib Salah, his Maghrib prayer, and he would actually open his fast. Yes, historians have written that Imam alayhi salam would fast throughout the year, not just in Shahr Ramadan. He would fast throughout the year, and it was only when the Imam alayhi salam would tell others that I am not fasting today that they would understand that he's not fasting. Otherwise, people would expect and realize and understand that the Imam was in a state of always fasting, except for those days where it is not to be fasted, for example. Nonetheless, Eid and the likes, and the days that it is not recommended. Nonetheless, the Imam alayhi salam would open his iftar with some simple food, and when he would open his iftar, after his iftar, he would recite, of course, the Salatul Isha, and after the time of Salatul Isha, I should say, he would meet with his closest companions, his closest friends, his closest acquaintances, not the general lecture. This is not that. As you know, many times, even in the Hawz al-Ilmiya, in Najaf and Qom, for example, the scholars who teach there, they not only have a general public class. This is why it's very important to be careful. Someone may come forward and say, I have studied this many years and this many years under this teacher in his Ba'af Kharij, for example. As you may know, there are different levels in the Hawza. There is, for example, Muqaddimat, Sutuh, and Kharij. Muqaddimat is introductory, Sutuh is intermediate, and Kharij is advanced studies. Kharij studies, many times, the lecture is open. So someone can go and sit, for example, in the lecture of Ayatollah Wahid al-Khurasani, an open lecture, for example, in Qom, or some other scholar. But sometimes there are specific gatherings that are specific to and only for those people who are close. This comes from the sunnah of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Imam Sajjad would meet his closest companions and he would tell them the secrets of the meanings of the Quran, the secrets of the meanings of the ahadith, and the secrets of the meanings of the du'as, and those closest companions would gather them and embed them in their hearts or record them as much as possible. That he would say, for example, the verses of the Quran, what is the meaning? The Ahlul Bayt are meant in this verse, for example, or in the traditions. This is the Ahlul Bayt being highlighted here. He would highlight all of those elements for them to understand. After that, the schedule of the Imam was, he would take some rest, and he would take some rest up until the time of Salatul Layl, the time of the night prayers. And the Imam alayhi salam would get up and begin to recite the Salatul Layl up until the time of Salatul Fajr. This Imam, Sayyidul Sajideen, Imam Zainul Abideen, he would dedicate his life, or the night in particular, to worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is something that I want to highlight. But how can I address the question that I asked at the beginning? That is, how can I make sure and I ensure in my life that I don't feel lonely? This is particularly important in our day and age today, and the circumstance that we're feeling. Many people are feeling anxious. Many people are feeling, for example, depressed. Many people are feeling concerned. I want to give you a message of hope. I want to give you a message of happiness. I want to give you a message of kindness through the vision and the message of Imam Zainul Abideen, Sayyidul Sajideen. Why? But this starts in a difficult environment. What do I mean it starts with a difficult environment? Perhaps no Imam gathered the mantle of Imamat and leadership in the state and in the environment that Imam Sajjad took on the leadership and the mantle of Imamat. It was the day of Ashura. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he comes into the tent and he gives his wasiyah to his sister. Imam Zainul Abideen is on the bed and he is in a state of apparent illness that the Imam Hussein prayed for. At that point in time, Imam Zainul Abideen, he sees his father and he says, "My father, what has happened to you? What has caused you to be in this state? Where is it?" He says, "Aina Ammi Abbas. Aina Aliyun al-Akbar." He says all of these things. I'm not at the moment of Masayib, but that whole picture is in front of your eyes. And when he tells him no one's left, Imam Hussein alayhi salam says, he says, "After me, it is only you and the man who remain." Imam has a conversation then, Imam Hussein, with Sayyidah Zainab. At that point in time, he gives the wasiyah and Imam alayhi salam takes off his ring and he replaces it with another ring. He takes his ring on his finger off and he puts on another ring. And he gives the ring that he removed to Sayyidah Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. When she gets the ring, Imam Hussein says, "Give this ring to Sajjad, to my son, when you get back to Karbala." What did that ring say? Something was inscribed on that ring. What was inscribed on that ring? It said a verse of the Quran or a part of the verse of the Quran, Surah number 65, verse number 3. Surah Talaq, verse number 3. In particular, it said, "Inna Allah balighu amrihi." Inna Allah balighu amrihi means most surely the will of Allah will come to pass. That means the amr of Allah will happen. At that point in time, when Imam Sajjad received the ring from Sayyidah Zainab in Medina, he put on the ring while saying, "Inna Allah balighu amrihi." It is no coincidence that Yazid came and went. Before him, Muawiyah came and went. The Umayyads came and went. The Abbasids came and went. One after the other, the tyrants came and went. But indeed, Inna Allah balighu amrihi. Most surely Allah's will come to pass. And most surely the will of Allah did come to pass. The Quran. What was the relationship of the Imam and the Quran? And how is it a solution to our problems today? How? In philosophy, many of the world are looking for solutions. I've mentioned to you in the past, if you recall, the rate of loneliness in America in the last 50 years has doubled. People feel more anxious, more depressed, all of these elements. Yet, we seem to have more wealth. We seem to have much more things in terms of material gains. Why is this? And some psychologists and sociologists have identified that in places where they may not have as many resources as us, they still may be more tranquil in their minds as us. What is that? Some philosophers and psychologists have argued, and the answer of this may be in why the world is turning to two types of philosophies more than others today. When you look at the history, many people in Silicon Valley, in New York City, in America, throughout America, especially on the coast, they are turning to Buddhist philosophy. They are turning to Stoic philosophy, Greek philosophy, or for example, Eastern philosophy to find answers to their problems. Why? Because in the modern world, psychologists and philosophers argue, we've been told in America, in the West in particular, that life is meant to be good. Life is meant to be happy. Life is meant to be perfect. And this is one perspective. But what happens is when I think life will only be good, life will only be positive, life will only have positive days, sunny days, no rainy days, what happens? Then life hits me with one rainy day. And when life hits me with one rainy day, I become very depressed, more than normal. I get very anxious. Why? Because of expectations. I didn't expect bad things to happen. I didn't expect negativity. I didn't expect challenges to emerge. I expected everything to be roses, as they say. Whereas now the world is turning towards Buddhism, for example, towards Stoic philosophy. Both arguing one should expect difficulty, expect challenges. Life will be difficult. Those elements will exist. Islam says the same, that life will have challenges. It's how you overcome those challenges. That's not to mean that you should feel doom and gloom. But if one has these expectations in mind, when beautiful moments happen, we appreciate them. How else is it that Sayyidah Zainab in the court of Sham, that this tyrant looks at Sayyidah Zainab and he says, "Allah, what has Allah done to you? And what did you see? And at that moment, Sayyidah Zainab says, Allah has done nothing but good to us. It is you who has been a tyrant to us and oppressed us. And she says the famous line where she says, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I saw nothing but beauty. How is it that someone sees such difficulty? They're losing their brother, losing their family, losing everyone, and still says, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. I saw nothing but beauty. It was the appreciation of Sayyidah Zainab that life will have challenges, but I know that my Lord has not forsaken me. I have my connection to my Lord. I have my connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now connecting this to the tradition of the Imam. Pay close attention, my dear brothers and sisters. Imam has a tradition that is authentic, that is on the chain, an authority of Imam Sajjad, where he gives a solution to us, particularly in this time and in every time. Imam who has seen Karbala, seen his father slaughtered, he has seen his brother, his uncle, his whole family. He says 18 moons of Banu Hashim, I've lost them all. He sees Karbala, then Kufa, then Sham. He sees his sister, all of these difficulties. But today is a joyous occasion. I'm giving a solution. I'm telling you what the Imam is saying. What did he say? He says, if everyone, Imam says, hadith, if everyone, the east to the west, from east to the west perishes. Now my words. From China to California and everything in between, from the entire end to end of the earth, if everyone perishes. Now back to the Imam. If everything perishes, not everyone, everything perishes, nothing is left on this planet, and only I remain, and I'm by myself. Imam says, and it is only me, and it is only the Quran as my only companion. I have nothing else. The book of Allah and myself. The Imam says, if everything perishes from east to west, and I only have the Quran, I would still not feel lonely. Allahu Akbar. That means the Imam is saying this book, the Quran, is a living book. And no matter if you have no one around you, just recitation of this book can be an amazing blessing. And not only that, a guide and a friend in the most loneliest of times. My dear brothers and sisters, I invite myself first and foremost and others to make this book a friend of yours in this time. The Quran. Another tradition, the Imam says, one who befriends the Quran, the Imam is saying, one who befriends, makes the Quran his friend or her friend, will never be lonely in their lives. The Imam Alaikum Salaam is saying this. This is one of the gifts that I want to give you in this night. The loneliness research, the anxiety research, the depression research. I'm telling you, in my travels, I've mentioned this and I continue to mention this. Whether it's India, to America, to Canada, to the UK, to Europe, the biggest challenge that we're facing globally is the issue in our communities and in many other communities, is the challenge of mental tranquility, mental health. I don't want to discuss this from a medical perspective, but how is it that our rate of unhappiness or satisfaction and tranquility in life, it is becoming more and more challenging? How is that? Many of the reasons we have lost the principle of Ahlul Bayt. So one gift that you can implement in your life is gratitude and being grateful. Much research has been spent on this. Much focus has been put on this. Some of the people who have the biggest resources in the world, the billionaires of the world, the multimillionaires of the world, they have access to professors and intellectuals that you and I may not have daily access to. When they were asked, what is the best advice that we can give? I'm talking about, for example, Sheryl Sandberg, when she had lost her husband. Adam Grant, the professor at the University of Pennsylvania, not too far from where you are in Allentown, one of the best psychologists and one of the most renowned institutions, he said gratitude. You could have lost your husband and your children could have been in the backseat, if you recall. He said, be grateful for the moments you had together. The same, for those who remember. I remember I was in Allentown when we heard the news of, for example, Kobe Bryant passing away. It was a shock for many of the youth and many of those alike, elders and youngers alike. When his wife was asked by her friends and psychologists and friends, what is that I can do, that I can implement? It was very clear from her post afterwards that the best thing to do in hardship and difficulty in terms of mental tranquility is to be grateful, have gratitude. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And you could see that many of those people implement this in our lives. Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam said the same thing, that there is one level that is called sabirin. those people who in challenges, they have sabr. There is another level after sabirin that are shakirin. Those are the people who thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when faced with challenges. These are the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. They're even beyond this. I say this because we have a lot to be thankful for where we live, particularly in the West. There are many people in the East and in developing economies who don't have access to the resources that we have. You and I, maybe we can have food delivered through technology today to our house on groceries, for example. We can have, for example, the shelter and comfort of social distancing. But some people don't have these comforts. Some people don't have the comfort of, for example, being able to be flexible in their work life. To be able to flexible. By the way, I know there are people suffering in our own communities. Let's not forget them in these days and these nights. There's no doubt about that. Traditions and on authority of him. Another man is a man by the name of Abdurrahman al-Kabuli. As you can see from his name, he was a man from Afghanistan or modern day Afghanistan, from Kabul, who had a very close relationship and a very close proximity to the Imam alayhi salam. And the Imam was someone who gave them special guidance and he gave them special secrets from the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam's teaching. But when it comes to the merits of the Imam alayhi salam, which we are here to commemorate, I want to remind us of that position of the Imam alayhi salam with respect to that moment of what work the Imam did after Karbala. The Imam had a very difficult task after Karbala. Muhammad Hanafiya, the brother of Imam Hassan and the brother of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, the half brother, the one who we mentioned 2 nights ago, the one who Imam Hassan and Muhammad Hanafiya had a dialogue about the Imamah. Imam Hassan is looking at the vision ahead. This story will now make more sense to you. Imam Hassan knew what will happen after Karbala, therefore he made it clear to Muhammad Hanafiya, I want you to know that after me the Imam will be Hussein, and after that it will be, he told him the line of the Imamah. Why is this important? Because Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Hassan, after that it was not clear who would be the Imam, it became Imam Hussein. But after Imam Hussein there was another argument and another discussion. What was that? After Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Muhammad Hanafiya staked claim to the Imamah. Because people were not so sure, will it be Imam Hassan's son? Will it be Imam Hussein alayhi salam's son? Or will it go into the brothers? If it goes into a brother, then Muhammad Hanafiya qualifies. So Muhammad Hanafiya had made this assertion to the Imamah. At that point in time, when this happened, Imam Zainul Abideen said, my uncle, I have a respect for you, honor, but Imamah is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which has been bestowed upon me through my father. I have this ring which my father gave. He also has entrusted me with Imamat on the final moments in Ashura, he explains. But he does not accept. Therefore, they finally make the decision that they will have the decision made by the Kaaba itself. The Kaaba will make the decision. How? Imam alayhi salam said, let us go to the Kaaba and we will ask Hajr al-Aswad, that is the black stone in the corner of the Kaaba, to decide on our behalf. And when this decides on our behalf, then we'll see who's the Imam. At that point in time, he says, he accepts. The uncle accepts and they proceed towards the Kaaba. When they proceed towards the Kaaba, at that moment in time, out of respect, the Imam is showing, I still have respect for my uncle. He's showing adab, he's showing his ethics. At that time, he says, my uncle, after you, I insist. Very well. He goes and then he begins to call out and he says, I want you to bear witness of my Imamah. The stone is silent. The stone does not say anything. He calls out again, it's quiet. After some time, the people who are witnessing, they realize and they get their answer. But as time, then at that moment, he turns towards his nephew, towards Imam Sajjad, and he says, Sajjad, why don't you now address the stone? Don't you tell it? At that point in time, the Imam was proceeding towards the stone, and at that moment, the Imam had not even finished uttering what he was saying to bear witness, that the stone began to say that this is the Imam, and this is the Hujjah of Allah on earth, and the people all witnessed this. Now, at this point, the Imam proved his Imamat, but his work does not stop here, because he now has to unite the two parties. As you know, this will resonate especially for those who follow politics and see what happens, especially in the United States. You see, there's in the party, take whatever party you want, there are candidates who are vying for the position. They fight vigorously, not literally but metaphorically, to win the campaign and to win the position amongst their party in order to move forward and say that we are the people who are leading. So for example, you'll see candidate A, candidate B, candidate C fighting in terms of their words, saying I'm better than this person and this person is deficient because of this reason. And they fight until one person emerges victorious. When that person emerges victorious, right away he comes back and says, we are all united. Our party is all united. The same way, the Imam alayhi salam did not, of course, use the tactics that many modern politicians use, but the Imam alayhi salam, he had proven his imamah to the people, but at the same time, he cannot marginalize those people. They are also Shia, they're also followers of Ahlul Bayt. This is a huge lesson for leadership throughout our communities globally. The Imam alayhi salam did not marginalize. He then had to unite the Muslim community, the Shia community in particular. How did he do this? The scholars say he used a beautiful medium that you and I can still use till today. What was that medium? That medium is the one that you and I are in right now. And that is the zikr of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. In particular, the Imam used the musibah of his father, Sayyidul Shuhada, to unite the Shia community. Because he knew that that weeping of Sayyidul Shuhada has a tremendous power to unite people and bring people together. And therefore, the Imam utilized that. We're told there's a moment in time where the Imam alayhi salam, he was invited for a wedding after the tragedy of Karbala. When he was invited at that moment in time, the man said, Yabna Rasulullah, it is the wedding of my daughter. It would be the happiest occasion in my life. I would be honored if you attend. At that moment, the Imam says, you will not see us attending these types of gatherings after Karbala. We don't attend. You know that we've lost our family, we've lost our loved ones, we have no happiness in that sense anymore. He says, it would be my honor. The Imam said at that time, perhaps, if you have a majlis in honor of my father, Sayyidul Shuhada, perhaps then I will attend. He had the majlis. On the day of the wedding, he kept a special seat for the Imam. When he kept a special seat for the Imam on that day, the Imam, the person whose daughter's wedding it was, he looked at that seat, he didn't see the Imam there. So he came outside. When he came outside, he saw the Imam fixing the shoes of the people who were attending. When the person was reciting the majlis of Imam al-Hussein inside, he saw this situation. He said, Yabna Rasulullah, I have a seat for you, an honorary seat. You are here with the shoes of the people. He said, these are not just ordinary people. These are azadar of my father, Sayyidul Shuhada. When they came, they were guests of your wedding. When you had a reciter recite the majlis, they became mourners and azadar of my father, Abu Abdullah. I am respecting them out of respect of my father and his zikr. He used that to unite the Muslim community. Then the third level, the Imam propagated Islam in an environment where there was heavy surveillance by the rulers and many blockades. How did the Imam get the message of true Islam out in that environment? What did he use? He used the du'as of Sayfifa Sajjadiyah. He used the du'as in order to implement them so that we can have solutions in our life. I say this as a gift for tonight's lecture. Dua number 7 of Sayfifa Sajjadiyah is a beautiful dua to recite in times of difficulties and challenges and calamities, perhaps such as these times. It may be of tremendous benefit in your life to recite that dua to get some ease and some calmness in terms of life. But this moment, the Imam alayhi salam was someone who was of tremendous honor and dignity. There's a moment in time that in the vicinity of Kaaba, the people are in the vicinity of the Kaaba. Hisham, the ruler, the arrogant ruler, he's trying to get to the Kaaba. He's trying to get right to the Kaaba, but nobody gives him way. Nobody gives him space. No one gives him room. When no one gives him room, at that point in time, Imam Zainul Abideen, Imam Sajjad enters into the Haram and he begins to move towards the Kaaba. The whole entire crowd splits in two and gives him a clear path towards the Kaaba. When they give him a clear path to the Kaaba and Hajr al-Aswad, at that point in time, they asked Hisham, his concierge, his comrades, the people who are with Hisham, the governor, the ruler, they look towards him, his entourage, and they say, who is this person? A moment ago, you were trying to get, as in they're saying, a moment ago, you were trying to get to the Kaaba. Now, this person who we don't even know, the entire crowd is split for him and he goes straight towards the Kaaba. Who is this person? Hisham turned his face in arrogance and he says, I don't know who he is. Farazdaq, the poet of the Ahlul Bayt. Why this poetry in honor of Ahlul Bayt? The Ahlul Bayt have said one who recites one verse and writes one couplet in honor of the Ahlul Bayt, alayhimus salam, Imam says, فَهُوَ فِي الْجَنَّةِ. That person will be in Jannah. Why this emphasis? Farazdaq, the poet, he heard what Hisham said. He says, you don't know who he is? He checked him right there. He says, the Bayt, the house knows, and the Haram knows. والبيت يعرف والحل والحرام هذا التقي النقي إن كنت جاهل. He begins to recite a very long qasida extemporaneously off the cuff, as we say, in honor of the Imam alayhi salam. At that point in time, Hisham, when he heard his words, he says, you don't know him? You don't know him? The house knows him. The haram knows him. He says, هذا التقي النقي. This is the pure, the untainted. In kunta jahilu, if you are ignorant and you don't know, the whole world knows him. You don't know him? At that point in time, Hisham said that he must be imprisoned. When he was imprisoned, Imam Sajjad heard about his imprisonment, and he said, take this bag of 10,000 dirham and give it towards Hisham. Imam is answering this idea, this notion about what is the position. This is just here. What about in the akhirah? Allah knows, perhaps. At that moment, when this money came towards Hisham, Hisham said, what is when it came to Farazda, in the prison of Hisham, he says, what is this? He says, this is a bag of gift that has been given from Imam Sajjad towards you. He says, what is it? He says, 10,000 dirham. He says, I will not take this, give this back to the Imam. He says that I have not written this except because it is haqq, because it is the truth, because it is reality. It is what needs to be said, no other reason. And he says, I said that from the essence and the depths of ma'rifah. I said it from those levels, the bottom of the heart, where ma'rifah resides. That is the true understanding and the cognizance of the Imam. This poetry, I encourage our next generation and those who are there to write more and more poetry in honor of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. For we are told, Ahya amrana, the Ahlul Bayt say, revive our memory. Revive the memory of Imam Zainul Abideen, Sayyidul Sajideen, in this night and in every night. Write something in his honor, even if it's a word or two. This is a beautiful time to begin to use the pen and to bring the heart's emotions into words. The poet says, we have this idea, we have this concept that Imam Sajjad went through difficulties after Karbala. He went to Kufa, he went to Sham, he went in the dungeons. He had very difficult times that he saw, no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. But we sometimes misinterpret that to think the Imam is a weak Imam. Na'udhu billah, hasha lillah. The Imam is the greatest of strength and the most strong individuals. Why and how do I say that? The Imam alayhimus salam, the poet says, Aaye hain abhi sham ka darbar ulat kar. You know, sometimes we call the Imam Bimar Imam, Lachar Imam. Sometimes even in our poetry in Urdu and other languages, we think the Abide Bimar, for example. But we must not take this fully literally. Yes, he was ill by the dua of Imam Hussein so that he does not have to fight on the plains of Karbala. But that doesn't mean he was a weak Imam. The poet says, Aaye hain abhi sham ka darbar ulat kar. Aaye hain abhi sham ka darbar ulat kar. Ab abide bimar ko bimar na kehna. The poet says that he has just come back after toppling and turning over the court of Sham. This Abide Bimar, who you call Abide Bimar, don't call him Abide Bimar anymore. How is it that someone who is ill, who is sick, through his words he can topple and turn over the entire kingdom of Sham with his words? This was the trepidation, this was the level of the words and the verses of the Imam alayhi salam, that in order to stop the khutbah of Imam Sajjad, Yazid had to call for the azan to be recited. That Yazid, the person who had gone to the worst position beyond anything that anyone can imagine, he came forward and said, I want the azan recited. At that point in time, this was the power of the khutbah and the lecture of Imam Sajjad. The poet captures this in a beautiful way where he says, Bab-e azmat mein tere ye hai dalil-e roshan. Bab-e azmat mein tere ये है दलील रोशन. तेरा दुश्मन भी तेरे हक में बयां देता है. तेरा दुश्मन भी तेरे हक में बयां देता है. तो बौखलाहट तेरे खुतबों के सबब थी सज्जाद, वरना काफिर भी कहीं हुक्म आज़ा देता है. The poet says that there was trepidation, there was a fear with respect to your words, Sajjad. Where else will you see that a non-Muslim, a non-believer is giving the order for the azan to be recited? This was the trepidation and the fear that Yazid felt from the words of Imam Sajjad. At that moment, Imam Sajjad, he declares his victory. He declares his victory in front of Yazid. How? That when that line, Allahu Akbar, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah is recited, Imam Sajjad looks towards Yazid with his eyes and he says, this Muhammad whose name you have just had recited, is he my grandfather or is he your grandfather? He had raised the flag of victory in the court of Yazid. This was the power of Imam Sajjad, Imam Zainul Abideen, Sayyidul Sajideen, Adam Ali Muhammad, Nuh Safina Ali Aba, Imam Zainul Abideen. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to have a glimpse of the ma'rifah of the teachings of Imam Zainul Abideen, Sayyidul Sajideen. Ya Allah, by Sayyidul Sajideen, the ornament of the worshippers, the one who spent the nights in worship, grant all of us our hajat in this night. Anyone who's going through difficulty, anyone who needs alleviation from difficulty, physical, financial, otherwise, Ya Allah, grant them their hajat in this night through Imam Sajjad. Ya Allah, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, his strength, his courage to persevere through difficult times, allow us to have a glimpse of that bravery, that honor, that dignity in the face of hardship, the same way Imam Sajjad alayhi salam had. Ya Allah, by the wasta and by the wasila of not only Imam Sajjad, not only Sayyid al-Shuhada, but also Babul Hawaj, Abul Fadl al-Abbas, and all these great personalities that we have commemorated in the previous nights. Grant all those who are in need their shifa, and grant all those who are in need their hajat in this night. And Ya Allah, allow us to be the cause of the reflection of making this a better world. As a final note, our world will not be the same afterwards. When we come out of this challenge of the virus that we're facing, our world will need to reform. You and I can be part of that reform. How? By saying that we want a more fair world. We want a more equal world. Why is it that there are certain people who have the luxury to be able to live a life that others are not able to? Some people are fleeing, for example, to the countryside. If Allah has given you resources, He's given you resources. This is a blessing. But what about those people who don't have it? Perhaps we need to strive for a more fair, a more equitable, a more egalitarian world. And that falls on us. That responsibility falls on us. And allow us, Ya Allah, to have the courage to work and strive to make the world more fair, to make the world more equitable, and make the world a more just place, the same way the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam strived for. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib Rasul Zaman, and allow us to be amongst his companions when he returns. And we wish him and we congratulate him especially on the birth of his grandfather, Sayyid Imam Sajjad, and also Abu Fadl and Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.
Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi, Sallu alayhi wa alihi. Tu kuja man kuja, tu kuja man kuja, tu kuja man kuja, تو کجا من کجا تو امیر حرم میں فقیر عجم تو امیر حرم میں فقیر عجم تیرے گل اور یہ لب میں طلب ہی طلب تیرے گل اور یہ لب میں طلب ہی طلب تو عطا ہی عطا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا الہام ہے جامع تیرا الہام ہے جامع تیرا قرآن امام ہے تیرا قرآن امام ہے تیرا منبر تیرا عرش برین منبر تیرا عرش برین یا رحمت للعالمین تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو حقیقت ہے میں صرف احساس ہوں تو حقیقت ہے میں صرف احساس ہوں تو سمندر میں بھٹکی ہوئی پیاس ہوں تو سمندر میں بھٹکی ہوئی پیاس ہوں میرا گھر خاک پر اور تیری راہ گزر میرا گھر خاک پر اور تیری راہ گزر سدرۃ المنتہا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا اے فرشتوں وہ سلطان معراج ہے اے فرشتوں وہ سلطان معراج ہے تم جو دیکھو گے حیران ہو جاؤ گے تم جو دیکھو گے حیران ہو جاؤ گے زلف تفسیر واللیل بن جائیں گی زلف تفسیر واللیل بن جائیں گی تیرا قرآن سارا نظر آئے گا چہرہ نظر آئے گا چہرہ نظر آئے گا چہرہ نظر آئے گا چہرہ نظر آئے گا میرے آقا امام صف انبیاء میرے آقا امام صف انبیاء نام پہ ان کے لازم ہے صلی اللہ 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 تو کجا من کجا مصطفیٰ مجتبیٰ خاتم المرسلین یا رحمت للعالمین تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا خیر البشر رتبہ تیرا خیر البشر رتبہ تیرا آواز حق خطبہ تیرا آواز حق خطبہ تیرا آفاق تیرے سامعین آفاق تیرے سامعین سائے سے جبریل امین سائے سے جبریل امین یا رحمت للعالمین تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو کجا من کجا تو ہے احرام انوار باندھے ہوئے تو ہے احرام انوار باندھے ہوئے میں درودوں کی دستار باندھے ہوئے میں درودوں کی دستار باندھے ہوئے کعبہ اے عشق تو میں تیرے چار سو کعبہ اے عشق تو میں تیرے چار سو تو اثر میں دعا تو کجا من کجا 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 تو کجا کجا من کجا. صلوات اللہ محمد و آل محمد. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد.
محمد اور چند شعر مولا علی کی شان میں اور چند امام حسین کی شان میں فرمانا چاہتا ہوں. توجہ فرمائے گا. ناد علی کا ورد جو کرتی چلی گئی، عمر روا سکو سے گزرتی چلی گئی. موت آ رہی تھی دیکھا جو لب پر علی کا نام، مجھ سے ملے بغیر گزرتی چلی گئی. کیوں مسلمان وعدے سے ڈرتا ہے تو، تیرے رہبر ہے 14 ذرا غور کر. جی رہے ہیں زمانے میں وہ لوگ جن کا کوئی بھی سچا سہارا نہیں. بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز ترے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائے آخر کہاں، غیر کا در جبھی کو گوارا نہیں. یا تو روزے پہ بلوا لو شاہ نجف، یا ہو بالی پہ مجھ کو یہاں دیدانی. آ رہی ہے ہر ایک سانس سے یہ صدا، اب جدائی رضا کو گوارا نہیں. بے کسوں کے مددگار مولا علی، جز تیرے کوئی اپنا سہارا نہیں. تیرا در چھوڑ کر جائے آخر کہاں، غیر کا در جبھی کو گوارا نہیں. صلو علی محمد و آل محمد. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. کہاں سے لائے گی دنیا حسین کے جیسا، کہاں سے لائے گی دنیا حسین کے جیسا. فقط حسین ملے گا حسین کے جیسا، کہاں سے لائے گی دنیا حسین کے جیسا. عبادتوں کو تو جاری ہے سلسلہ اب تک، نماز کو نمازی نہیں ملا اب تک. کرے جو خاک پہ سجدہ حسین کے جیسا، کہاں سے لائے گی دنیا حسین کے جیسا. خدا بھی ناز کرے فخر عالمین بنے، ہے اس رسول کا حق شاہ مرسلین بنے. ہے جس نبی کا نواسا حسین کے جیسا، کہاں سے لائے گی دنیا حسین کے جیسا. शिकस्त किसकी है मैदान में फैसला कर ले, दलील छोड़ दे आजा मुबाहला कर ले, है तेरे पास तुमने हुसैन के जैसा कहाँ से लाएगी दुनिया हुसैन के जैसा। खुदा ही जाने के अब्बास क्या है शान तेरी, ये मंजिलत ये सादत किसे नसीब हुई, तुझे समझती है ज़हरा हुसैन के जैसा कहाँ से लाएगी दुनिया हुसैन के जैसा। फकत हुसैन मिलेगा हुसैन के जैसा कहाँ से लाएगी दुनिया हुसैन के जैसा। सल्लु अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आलि मुहम्मद। तवज्जो ज़ियारत। बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलामु अलैका या अबा अब्दिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न रसूलिल्लाह, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न अमीरिल मुमिनीन व इब्न सय्यिदिल वसिय्यीन, अस्सलामु अलैका या इब्न फातिमत ज़हरा सय्यिदति निसाइल आलमीन, अस्सलामु अलैकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुह, अस्सलामु अलैका या मौला व इब्न मौला, अस्सलामु अलैका या गरीब al-ghuraba as-sultan al-hasan علي بن موسى الرضا وأختك فاطمة المعصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب الزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا كامة الإيمان، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وأينا حتى تسكنه أرضك سوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. سورة المباركة الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد.